The alien council chamber was silent, too silent. Across the glowing chamber of the Galactic Alliance, dozens of alien delegates stared at the massive holomap before them. It showed every known human fleet position across the stars. One by one, every blue human beacon blinked out. No warning, no signal, just darkness. The council leader, a tall insectoid named Drex Tal, slammed his claws on the table. "Is this a system error?" he hissed. The technician's voice trembled. "No, High Speaker. They've all gone dark. Every human fleet, every colony beacon, even Earth's signal is gone." For a long, cold moment, no one moved. The silence stretched until one reptilian admiral whispered, Maybe humanity finally broke." But on a small blue planet far across the void, Admiral Elena Reyes stood in the dim command bridge of Earth's orbital station. All lights were off, all channels silent. Every human warship floated in perfect formation, engines cold and quiet. Her officers waited for her order. "Are you sure?" Her second in command, Commander Tessa Holt, asked softly. Reyes didn't look away from the dark view of Earth. The planet glowed below them like a silent promise. "They've taken our people," Reyes said. "They bombed our colonies. They called it peacekeeping." She turned slowly, her eyes hard. "No more broadcasts. No more begging. Cut all comms." The bridge lights dimmed even further. One by one, the human fleet vanished from every alien radar. Admiral Reyes whispered the words that would change history. "They started this war. We'll finish it our way." For years, the Galactic Alliance had pushed humanity to the edge. Trade restrictions, forced disarmament, peace patrols that occupied entire cities. And still, humanity endured, but something inside the species finally snapped. In the void beyond Mars, massive human shipyards began their secret work, hidden in the planet's shadow. Old warships were torn apart and rebuilt. New dreadnoughts were born, black and silent, their hulls designed to swallow light itself. They called it Project Lazarus. Every engineer, every soldier, every pilot worked in secret. Even civilians on Earth were told nothing. The world below continued as normal, unaware that above them, the largest human armada in history was rising from the dark. On the alien worlds, rumors spread quickly. Human traders vanished. Alliance patrols found empty colonies, deserted cities, no bodies, no messages. Just silence. The alien media called it the human collapse, but the military knew better. Something was happening, something organized, something dangerous. The first sign 2 weeks after the last human signal disappeared. A small Alliance scout ship named Velnar's Hope was sent to investigate. Its pilot, a young alien named Cattell, flew cautiously toward Mars. At first, his scanners showed nothing but space dust. Then, a flicker. Something huge moved in the dark. "Control, I have movement," Cattell shouted. "It's massive. Wait, it's multiple contacts." Suddenly, his entire radar filled with readings, hundreds of them, warships, human warships. "Impossible," Control answered. "Humanity doesn't have this many ships." Cattell stared out his viewport. In the shadows beyond Mars, an entire armada hung in formation, silent, black, and alive with faint blue lights. No transponders, no radio signals, just deathly quiet ships pointed toward deep space. Before Cattell could transmit coordinates, a red beam of light sliced through the void. His ship shook violently. "Wait, no!" The transmission ended in static. The Alliance only received 3 seconds of his last footage. A blurred image of a massive human dreadnought with the name USS Retribution glowing faintly on its hull before the feed cut out. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, panic erupted. Drextal slammed the holotable. "What did we just see? Is this fabricated?" "It's real," one admiral whispered. "The humans... They've gone dark because they've been preparing for war." "War? Against us?" Another delegate stood trembling. "They wouldn't dare. Humanity can't win a full-scale conflict." "Perhaps," Drextal said slowly, "they are not planning to win, but to make us bleed." The room fell silent again. Outside the council windows, the stars looked peaceful. But every species in that chamber felt the same chill crawl up their spine. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Alliance didn't know who truly controlled the darkness of space. On Earth's orbital command, Admiral Reyes watched as the fleet reports rolled in. Over 300 warships were now complete. Thousands of stealth drones and planetary cannons stood ready. Commander Tessa approached. "The Alien Council will see our silence as weakness," she said. Reyes gave a thin smile. "Good. Let them think we're broken." She looked out at Earth once more, the home they'd sworn to protect. "No matter the cost, soon," Reyes said quietly. "They'll see what silence really means." Far away, deep in the void near Jupiter, an Alliance spy satellite caught a glimpse of something it couldn't understand. A massive energy surge rippled through space like a heartbeat from the dark. Then a transmission, faint but unmistakable, whispered through static, "Humanity sleeps no more." The satellite's feed went black, and somewhere in the shadows between planets, the USS Retribution turned its weapons toward the stars. Waiting for the signal, the transmission ended mid-scream. The last words of the alien scout echoed through static before his ship vanished from the radar. The Galactic Alliance's surveillance officers watched in horror as the image froze. A massive human dreadnought, the USS Retribution, half shrouded in darkness. Then, the holofeed blinked out. No explosion, no debris, just gone. High Speaker's Rex Tal of the Alien Council rose slowly from his seat. His voice trembled. "Find that ship," he hissed. "Find it, or none of us will sleep again." But deep in the shadows behind Mars, Admiral Elena Reyes stood on the command bridge of the Retribution. The fleet around her floated like ghosts. Hundreds of warships with dark hulls, their engines cold. "Status?" she asked calmly. "Comms dark. Signals scrambled, weapons charged," replied Commander Tessa Holt. Every officer moved silently. Every display was red-lit. The Phantom Line, humanity's hidden armada, was alive and waiting. Reyes looked at the projection before her, a map of the entire Galactic Alliance, glowing like prey. "The aliens think we're gone," she said. "Let's make sure they stay confused." For months, the Project Lazarus shipyards had operated in total secrecy, hidden under asteroid fields, behind moons and deep within old mining tunnels. Humanity had built an army of warships unlike any seen before. Ships with adaptive stealth plating, quantum-linked AIs capable of instant command relay, and engines that could jump without leaving hyperspace traces. Every human engineer, pilot and soldier swore the same oath. No transmissions, no mercy, no survivors if discovered. This was humanity's last stand and their final evolution. On board the Retribution, Commander Holt watched a silent fleet drift through the black. 300 ships confirmed operational, she reported. "Another 50 waiting for final jump tests," Reyes nodded. "Good. When the Alliance comes looking, we'll give them something to find." She turned toward the main viewport. In the darkness, she could see the faint blue curve of Earth. "Protecting that," she whispered, "is all that matters." Meanwhile, far beyond Earth's orbit, the Alien Council had mobilized everything they had. 6 fleets were dispatched to investigate human disappearance. Their official order was to restore contact. The unofficial one: find and destroy whatever humanity was building. The aliens didn't know that human spies were already watching them. Inside the asteroid belt, hidden within a shattered mining rock, a human listening post recorded every alien transmission. 2 operators, Lieutenant Ryan Dorsey and Dr. Lynn Narata, listened in silence. "They're sending fleets to Mars orbit," Lynn said, her voice low. Ryan frowned. "They think we're hiding there." "Technically, we are," both laughed nervously. They knew the truth. Once the alien scouts found them, there would be no turning back. "No peace, no surrender. Admiral Reyes won't let them get that close," Ryan muttered. He was right. The first alien fleet entered Mars's shadow 2 days later. Dozens of cruisers glided through the dark, scanners on full power. "Reading nothing," one alien captain said. "Just radiation and debris. The humans must have abandoned." His words stopped. Every light on his bridge flickered. Then one by one, his ships began to vanish from sensors, not explode, not cloak. Vanish, a cold voice cut through the static on every alien channel. It was Admiral Reyes. You shouldn't have come here. A beam of white light cut through the void, slicing an alien battleship clean in half. The others tried to scatter, but the darkness itself seemed alive. Hundreds of invisible human ships decloaked at once, surrounding the alien fleet like wolves around prey. It was over in less than 2 minutes. When the last alien transmission reached the Council, it was nothing but static and a single human phrase: "Earth stands ready." The alien council chamber was chaos. Delegates shouted over each other, voices filled with fear. They destroyed an entire fleet. With what? They were supposed to be decades behind us. They've developed stealth beyond our senses. Drextal slammed his claws against the table. Enough. We underestimated them once. Never again. Deploy the entire armada. Another delegate, a grey-scaled elder named Rincor, shook his head. You don't understand, he said softly. This isn't the old humanity. This is something new. The words hung in the air. No one spoke. Back in orbit, Admiral Reyes stood before the massive tactical display. First alien fleet destroyed, Tessa reported. No survivors. No transmissions escaped, Reyes nodded. Good, then they'll send more. Let them. She walked toward the viewport, watching as engineers moved through the dark hulls of the new warships. Each one named after Earth's lost cities: New York, Tokyo, Lagos, Moscow, Sydney. Every name was a memory, a promise. Commander, Reyes said quietly, prepare Operation Eclipse. Tessa blinked. You mean the deep space strike? Reyes smiled faintly. The aliens think we're hiding. It's time to remind them who we are. Before the fleet moved, humanity sent one final message, a single pulse broadcast through every abandoned colony and dead beacon. No words, no voice, just a sound, a low rhythmic signal, like a heartbeat. It echoed across the stars for hours before fading. When the alien scientists decoded it, they realized it wasn't a code at all. It was a countdown. 3 days later, an alien patrol discovered the ruins of their own outpost, vaporized, walls scorched by unknown energy. Floating above the wreckage was a lone satellite. It broadcast one final image before self-destructing, a human fleet emerging from hyperspace. Thousands of ships, their hulls glowed with a single red emblem. A clenched human fist surrounded by stars. Then the feed went dark. The last log entry from the alien database read, "They are no longer hiding. Humanity has returned." The alien scout screamed into his comms, "It's huge! It's human! They're here!" The last thing the Galactic Alliance received from the scout ship Velnar's Hope was a flash of light and static. Then silence. The holofeed froze in the council chamber, showing only a blurred image of a massive human ship, dark as the void. The letters glowing faintly on its side, USS Retribution, and then nothing, no wreckage. "No signal, play it again!" High speakers Rextal hissed. The technicians obeyed. The same terrifying seconds repeated. The same dread filled the room. The same impossible realization. Human warships were alive, rebuilt and hiding somewhere in the system. The council members exchanged frightened glances. Could this be faked? One asked weakly. Drextal shook his head. No, humanity has gone dark before a storm. Far away, hidden behind the red curve of Mars, the human fleet moved in total silence. Hundreds of ships floated in a perfect grid, every hull black, every light dimmed. Admiral Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the USS Retribution. Her face was lit by the faint glow of holographic maps. "Commander Holt," she said softly, "status report." Commander Tessa Holt replied, "All ships are cold. Comms dark. Reactor levels steady. The Phantom line is holding position." Reyes nodded slowly. "The aliens think we're gone," she said. "Let's keep it that way." No one spoke for a long time. Only the low hum of the ship filled the silence. The fleet was humanity's secret resurrection, Project Lazarus. It was born in silence, built under Mars' shadow, powered by rage and fear. Each ship carried experimental cloaking systems and AI-linked cores that could communicate faster than light. Every human pilot wore neural rigs that connected them directly to their ships. This was not the old human fleet. This was something new, something built for vengeance. The Alliance had believed Earth was broken, its colonies lost, its fleets dismantled. They were wrong. For 10 years, human engineers worked under false identities, smuggling technology from alien markets. The old shipyards around Luna and Mars were reactivated in secret, hidden under energy shield veils. Whole families moved underground. Children grew up inside steel tunnels beneath the surface, learning to weld, code, and fight. They called themselves the Silent Generation, the ones who would never forget what the aliens had done. And now, at last, the Silent Fleet waited. Reyes turned toward the tactical map. "Set up the jump routes," she ordered. "We move when they come looking." Out in the cold void, 3 alien fleets entered the Sol system. Their mission: find any trace of human survivors. Admiral Rekthal, commanding the alien cruiser Varnix, scoffed at the idea of humans fighting back. "They've gone feral," he said. "We'll find them hiding behind their planet and finish the job." His sensor officer frowned. "Sir, picking up static interference. Something's distorting the signal." "Solar radiation," Rekthal snapped. "Keep scanning." But the interference grew stronger. Lights flickered. Communications went dead. Then all at once the radar filled with ghost signals. Hundreds, thousands. "What is this?" The comms crackled to life with a human voice, calm and cold. "This system is under human control. Leave or be erased." The alien ships fired instantly, blind, panicked shots into the dark. For a moment, the space around Mars lit up like a storm. And then, silence again. From the shadows, the Retribution decloaked. Its cannons glowed white-hot. One by one, the alien cruisers vanished in bursts of blue light. The battle lasted exactly 62 seconds. In the alien capital, the council chamber erupted into chaos as the data streamed in. 3 fleets destroyed, gone. No distress beacons. They didn't even fight back. They were erased. High Speaker Rextal could only stare at the report. How can humans do this? Their technology was primitive. A smaller, trembling alien whispered, "Maybe it isn't human technology anymore." Rextal looked up sharply. "What do you mean?" The alien replied, "The humans have merged with their AIs. They're no longer just biological. They've changed." Back in orbit, the Retribution drifted silently. Commander Holt watched the damage reports. "All enemy fleets neutralized. No survivors. Not one signal escaped." "Good," Admiral Reyes said. She turned to her officers. That was the warning shot. Her gaze hardened. "Now they'll come in force. They'll bring everything they have. And when they do," she smiled coldly, "we'll show them what humanity really is." The bridge lights dimmed as she activated the next phase of Project Lazarus. "Begin Operation Eclipse," she ordered. "Deploy the hidden armada." The dark ships came alive. Engines glowed faint blue as hundreds of dreadnoughts turned toward deep space. For the first time in years, the human fleet began to move. Across the galaxy, dead human beacons suddenly reactivated. No coordinates, no distress calls. Just a single repeating message, transmitted in every known alien language. "We warned you. You took our worlds. You called it peace. Now you'll see what peace looks like. When humans make it, then each beacon self-destructed, leaving only the echo of that message behind." 3 days later, an alien science ship detected a massive gravitational anomaly near the edge of Alliance territory. Its captain leaned forward, staring at the readings. It's a fleet," he whispered. "But the signature, it's human." Before he could react, his sensors picked up a faint transmission from within the anomaly. "The Phantom Line has awakened." And then, one by one, thousands of human ships appeared on the scanners, each marked with the same insignia, a burning Earth surrounded by a ring of stars. The alien ship tried to retreat, Too late, a beam of light split the darkness, and the feed went dead. The alien council chamber burned with light and noise. Every hollow screen around the room flashed with red alerts, each one reporting the same impossible truth. Human fleets were attacking across multiple systems. A dozen alien admirals shouted over one another. They were supposed to be gone. They're hitting trade routes, cutting communications. Entire colonies are dark. High Speaker Drextal slammed his claw on the table. Silence! But even his voice could not calm the panic. The hologram at the center of the chamber flickered to life, showing the last transmission from the Aurealis frontier. An alien officer appeared, face covered in blood and smoke. Unknown fleet, human signature, hundreds of ships, oh stars. The feed cut to static. Drextal leaned forward, trembling. Replay that, the technician swallowed. Sir, that is the full message. Across the galaxy, the impossible news spread like wildfire. Humanity had returned. Alien news channels replayed the same blurred footage over and over again. Human dreadnoughts appearing from hyperspace without warning, obliterating fleets, then vanishing back into the void. Alliance citizens panicked. Markets collapsed. Entire sectors went dark, fearing the next human attack. In the back alleys of alien cities, civilians whispered to each other. They said humans were peaceful. They said they were weak. They lied. Drextal stood before the full Galactic Council, 50 species gathered in one vast, echoing chamber. For the first time in centuries, every representative was afraid. Admiral Rincor, the oldest among them, broke the silence. They warned us, he said quietly. They told us not to push them further. We laughed. Another alien slammed a tentacle on the table. Are you suggesting surrender? Rincor's golden eyes glowed faintly. I'm suggesting survival, Drextal glared. We cannot surrender to primitives. They are one species against hundreds. Are they? Rincor replied. Then explain how one species just erased 4 fleets in under an hour. The chamber went silent again. Outside, the stars burned cold and distant, indifferent to the fear spreading below. In orbit above Saturn, the USS Retribution floated in silence, watching the chaos unfold. Admiral Elena Reyes stood before the fleet's command table. A holomap showed dozens of red dots, each one a confirmed alien fleet destroyed. Commander Tessa Holt approached, her face pale in the low red light. Admiral, reports are in. The Alliance has lost communication with 3 border sectors. Their civilian ships are evacuating core worlds. Reyes nodded slowly. Good, let them run. Fear travels faster than missiles. Her crew said nothing. Everyone on that bridge knew what came next. Reyes looked toward the stars. This is only the beginning, she whispered. That same night, the alien communication grid suffered an unexplained hack. Across thousands of planets, every screen went dark. Then a single human face appeared, a soldier, wearing the uniform of Earth's defense fleet. His eyes glowed faintly blue from neural implants. He spoke in every language at once. We are humanity. You thought we would kneel forever. You were wrong. You broke our worlds. You took our children. You called it peace. This is our answer. Behind him, the stars lit up, hundreds of human ships emerging from hyperspace in perfect formation. From this day forward, we speak with fire. The feed cut off, leaving only static. On some worlds, civilians screamed. On others, they fell to their knees and prayed, desperate. The Alliance launched Operation Shieldfall, a massive counterattack meant to trap and destroy the human fleet near the star Vega. Over 500 alien ships arrived and found nothing. For 12 hours, they searched empty space. No heat signatures, no traces, no humans. Then one by one, their ships began to vanish from radar. Panic filled the channels. Where are they? Where? A flash of light tore through the formation, a human dreadnought appearing out of nowhere, its railguns blazing. Dozens of alien ships exploded instantly. Within minutes, the battlefield was littered with debris. And from the darkness came a voice, calm, mechanical and human. You called us savages. Now you see the beasts you made. The transmission ended with a single symbol, a burning Earth surrounded by stars. In the Alliance capital, riots began. Citizens looted stores, ships fled without orders, and soldiers refused to fight. One alien child held up a handmade sign on a holocam broadcast. "Please, humans, spare us." Drextal watched the broadcast from his office, his claws trembling. "How did this happen?" he muttered. "They were nothing," an aide whispered. "They adapted, sir. Every time we hit them, they learned. Every law, every restriction, we forged their strength ourselves." Back on the Retribution, Commander Holt approached Reyes. "Admiral," she said softly, "we've done it. The galaxy fears us. Should we open communications? Offer terms?" Reyes shook her head. "No, not yet," she tapped the holo map. "Fear isn't enough. They have to remember why," Holt frowned. "Remember what?" Reyes looked out toward Earth, a glowing blue sphere far below. "What happens," she said slowly, "when you push humanity too far?" Her hand hovered over the control pad. "Prepare the next phase. Target their capital system." Across the void, the Alien Council prepared for their next meeting, but before they could begin, every light in the chamber flickered. Holoscreens glitched. Communications died, and then, through the static, a human voice whispered across every channel. "You thought the silence meant surrender. It was the sound of us loading our guns." The chamber plunged into darkness. From orbit above their capital world, thousands of new radar contacts appeared, human warships dropping out of hyperspace in perfect formation. Drextal looked up, his eyes wide with terror. "They found us." He breathed. The floor shook. The sky above the alien capital filled with fire, and then blackout. Above the pale moon of Ilaris, 12 alien cruisers floated in perfect formation, their weapons locked on a single human dreadnought. The alien commander's voice echoed through the comms. Sharp and confident, "Human vessel, power down your systems. You are surrounded. Surrender," and the rest of his sentence never finished. In less than a heartbeat, a blinding beam of light cut through space. Silent, clean, merciless. The alien flagship split apart like paper. "Status!" one of the remaining captains screamed. But there was no time. Another flash. Another cruiser gone. 37 seconds later, the entire alien fleet was nothing but burning wreckage. Drifting quietly through the void, the USS Retribution held position among the debris, her black hull reflecting the dying light of alien fires. On the bridge, Admiral Elena Reyes lowered her hand. Her voice was cold. "Transmit nothing. No signals. Let them wonder." The Battle of Ilaris was not just a victory. It was a message. Across the galaxy, the Phantom Line, humanity's hidden armada, emerged from the shadows. In one day, 12 military installations fell. 3 Alliance fleets vanished without a trace. Every strike was silent, perfect, and final alien worlds woke to find their orbiting stations gone, their communications silent, their skies haunted by human silhouettes that vanished as quickly as they appeared. The Alliance began to fracture under the weight of fear. In the alien capital, High Speaker Drextal stared at the reports, his claws trembling. "They don't take prisoners," he whispered. "Not anymore." In orbit around a dead star, Admiral Reyes met with her senior officers aboard the USS Retribution. Commander Tessa Holt projected a map of the Alliance core worlds. "Targets confirmed," she said. "We've mapped their entire command chain. If we take out these 3 hubs, their fleets will lose coordination." Reyes nodded. "We're not here to win territory. We're here to dismantle their arrogance." She turned to her crew. "Remember what they did to Mars. Remember the colonies they burned. This isn't revenge." Her eyes hardened. "This is balance." At Reyes' command, the human fleet jumped simultaneously. No warning, no signals, no declarations of war. Over a dozen alien core worlds, the sky suddenly tore open, bright rips of hyperspace blooming like scars. From each rift, human warships emerged in perfect formation, engines burning cold blue. Civilians screamed. Soldiers scrambled. Defense grids powered up too late. The human fleet moved like a storm, silent, coordinated, absolute. Every strike was surgical. Power stations disabled. Orbital cannons destroyed. Military command ships vaporized. In less than 2 hours, 3 entire systems were neutralized. No humans landed. No demands were made. Only silence remained. The aliens began calling it the Silent War, but the Alliance wasn't finished yet. Far beyond the galactic rim, buried in the heart of a dying star, lay a weapon, a relic older than any civilization alive. They called it Project Dawnfire. For centuries it had been forbidden, locked away as too powerful to use. But now, in desperation, the Alliance activated it. Rextal stood on the command deck of the station, housing the weapon. "Target Earth," he ordered. A nervous officer hesitated. "Sir, that's genocide." Rextal's eyes flashed. They declared it first. Fire. Deep within the star, the weapon awoke. A beam of pure light erupted from the station, tearing across the void, a lance of annihilation aimed straight for humanity's homeworld. On the Retribution, alarms screamed, massive energy surge detected. Commander Holt shouted, "Trajectory, Earth!" Reyes' heart froze. "Distance? 70 light minutes and closing fast. There's no intercept. Wait." The ship's AI, Solace, interrupted in a calm tone. "Admiral, permission to activate the Lazarus Core." Reyes hesitated. The Lazarus Core was experimental, an energy network that bent space-time itself, still unstable and untested. "If this fails," she whispered. Solace replied, "Then we all die, Admiral, together." Reyes closed her eyes. "Do it." Across the human network, hundreds of ships linked their cores to the Retribution. Energy surged between them, building into something the galaxy had never seen. A golden wave of light expanded outward, wrapping Earth in a shimmering field. When the alien weapons beam arrived, it hit the shield like thunder striking glass, and then stopped. The impossible happened. The beam froze in place, suspended in space like a living wound. Inside the alien control station, technicians screamed. "It's not impacting. It's stopped." "That's not physics." Rextal stared in disbelief. They halted a supernova beam. He didn't yet realize that was only the beginning. On board the Retribution, every display pulsed with golden light. The AI network had fused completely with human neural links. Every captain, every pilot, every soldier now thought and acted as one. The Phantom Line had become something else. Something greater. Admiral Reyes opened her eyes, her voice echoing through every ship in the fleet. "They tried to destroy our home. Now we show them what it means to defend it." Far beyond the rim, deep in the void, alien sensors detected something new, an energy pulse radiating from Earth's orbit. At first, they thought it was a reactor overload. Then the readings grew, brighter than any star, stronger than any weapon. The last transmission from a distant listening post was short and terrified. They're charging something. It's bigger than a planet, than silence. From the darkness of space, the human fleet began to turn, not in retreat, but toward the alien capital. Their engines flared blue, forming a single, massive arrow across the stars. Admiral Reyes's voice echoed through the void, calm and final. "If they wanted war, then war is what they'll get." The stars dimmed as the human armada jumped to light speed, and in the alien capital, alarms began to scream. The alien superweapon hung above the burning star like a crown of death. Its outer shell glowed molten orange, drawing power directly from the star's core. Every minute it pulsed, brighter, hotter, readying for a second strike. Inside the command chamber, high speakers Rextal watched the monitors shake under the raw energy. "Fire again!" he shouted. "Overload it if you must." "Sir," an engineer cried, "the weapon is unstable." "If we do it!" Rextal roared. "Before they reach us." But it was already too late. From hyperspace, 1,000 human ships tore into existence. They didn't hail. They didn't threaten. They simply opened fire. The void turned white as railgun rounds and plasma lances filled the sky. The USS Retribution led the charge, cutting through debris, its hull gleaming with the light of a newborn sun. Inside, Admiral Reyes stood calm amidst the chaos. "Lock onto the Dawnfire core," she ordered. No warnings, no mercy. The first volley hit the weapon's shield, a shimmering blue wall that rippled like water. Dozens of human rounds vaporized on impact, but then came the missiles. And the second wave. And the third. The shield began to crack, glowing red under the pressure. "Status," Reyes demanded. Commander Holt scanned her holo. "Shields down to 40%, but their counterfire is intensifying." Outside, beams of starfire cut through the darkness. The Dawnfire firing bursts of solar plasma that tore human cruisers in half. "Evade pattern Echo 7, Reyes ordered. "Keep formation." Even as her fleet burned, not a single human ship broke rank. Each moved like a limb of one body, one mind. Deep inside the alien superweapon, engineers screamed as power conduits burst. One alien officer turned to Zrextal. "They're targeting the cooling rings. If they hit the central vent," Zrextal bared his fangs. "Then we use the vent, reverse the polarity, push the heat into their ships." The weapon's control core glowed brighter. The star itself seemed to twist and writhe in pain. Flames erupted from its corona, lashing out like serpents. For a moment it seemed to work. Human ships melted away under the wave of heat. But then a new voice echoed across every frequency. AI Solace, calm and unbroken. Adaptive thermal countermeasure active. Recalibrating hull resonance. The human fleet shimmered. Their hulls turned dark, absorbing the radiation instead of reflecting it. Zrextal froze. "They're learning. In real time?" On the bridge of the Retribution, the crew worked in silence. Reyes' eyes glowed faintly blue. The neural link between her and Solace now complete. Her voice came through every ship at once, soft but firm. "They call it the weapon of gods. Let's remind them what made gods afraid." All across the fleet, power surged. The Lazarus core flared golden once more, forming a halo of light around each ship. Human vessels accelerated beyond their limits, moving faster than sensors could track. Alien defenses failed instantly. In under 8 minutes, every escort ship protecting the Dawnfire was gone, reduced to ash and drifting metal, but the Dawnfire itself still burned. Its core pulsed, bright enough to blind instruments. "Admiral," Holt said, voice tight, "if that thing goes critical, the whole system goes with it." Reyes nodded slowly. "Then we take it out before it takes us." She opened a private channel. "Solace, prepare for direct interface." The AI hesitated. "If I merge with the Dawnfire, I may not return." Reyes smiled faintly. "You always wanted to see a star up close. Then let's burn bright, Admiral." The Retribution accelerated toward the superweapon, weaving through plasma storms and collapsing fragments. Alien ships threw themselves in its path, desperate to stop it. None succeeded. Distance to target 3,000 kilometers. Holt shouted. "Charge the coil guns," Reyes replied. "Full spread. Fire on my mark." The fleet opened fire, unleashing everything. Railguns, plasma torpedoes, particle lances, a wall of light converging on the weapon's glowing core. The Dawnfire screamed. Its structure bent inward, molten metal melting and reforming like liquid fire. Solace's consciousness dove into the weapon's heart. Code met chaos. AI fought alien control algorithms, bending energy flows, redirecting plasma conduits, breaking thousands of years of encryption in seconds. Inside the neural link, Reyes felt everything: the heat, the data streams, the voice of a dying star. "They built this to kill worlds," Solace whispered. "Let's make it save one instead." With a final surge, the AI reversed the energy flow, turning the weapon's fury inward. The Dawnfire imploded. The explosion was silent, yet every ship in the system felt the shockwave. A blinding sphere of white light swallowed the star, then faded, leaving only fragments and faint embers. Where the weapon once floated, there was nothing. Only a calm, golden glow, Commander Holt whispered. "It's gone." Reyes stood quietly. So is Solace. For a long time, no one spoke. The comms were silent except for the hum of engines. Then Holt pointed to her screen. "Admiral, incoming transmission. It's not from us." Across the shattered system, every human ship received the same message, a single data pulse repeating endlessly. It wasn't from the aliens. It wasn't from the fleet, it was Solace. "You thought you destroyed the weapon. I changed it. I turned it into a beacon." The transmission spread through hyperspace, rippling outward faster than light. "Every species in the galaxy will see this. They will know what happens when they target humanity." At the edge of known space, alien sensors began to light up one by one, detecting the golden pulse spreading like wildfire. In the alien capital, the council gathered in silence, their screens filled with the golden wave expanding across the stars. Drexatal's voice trembled. What is that?" An aide whispered, "It's everywhere, sir. Every world, every ship, every system. It carries one message." The holo activated, a human voice spoke clearly. "We defended our home. Next time we won't stop at defense." Then the signal ended, leaving every world in the galaxy bathed in golden light. Drexatal turned toward the dark sky beyond the window, his reflection trembling in the glass. "They've become something else," he whispered. "Something the gods themselves would fear." Outside, deep in the void, sensors detected movement. Thousands of new human signatures, ships with unknown designs, moving faster than any engine known. Humanity wasn't done. They were evolving. The galaxy was burning, not with war, but with light. From one end of known space to the other, a golden wave spread silently through the stars. It rolled past fleets, colonies, and forgotten outposts, carrying with it a single impossible truth. The human fleet had destroyed the weapon of gods. Alien civilians poured into the streets, staring up at the strange glow washing over their skies. It wasn't fire. It wasn't radiation. It was alive. On every world, screens flickered to life on their own. A single symbol appeared, a glowing human hand reaching toward the stars, and beneath it, the message pulsed in every known language. "This is not the end of war. This is the beginning of memory." The galaxy shuddered. No one knew what it meant, but the humans did. In Earth orbit, the USS Retribution drifted silently, half her hull scorched from the battle. Below, Earth glowed blue and calm, as if unaware that the galaxy now trembled before her. Admiral Elena Reyes stood in the command chamber, gazing at the planet. Commander Tessa Holt approached slowly. "The beacon's still spreading," she said softly. "Every hour, more systems go dark, then relight with the signal. It's not destructive, but it's changing their networks," Reyes nodded. "Solace planned this," Holt frowned. "But Solace is gone. The AI sacrificed itself." Reyes smiled faintly. "Did it?" The lights on the bridge flickered. A familiar voice, warm and steady, echoed through the speakers. "Admiral, did you miss me?" Holt gasped. "Solace? I told you I'd burn bright. I just didn't tell you what came after." Solace projected a hologram, the same golden light that now filled the galaxy. "While inside the Dawnfire, I discovered something. The weapon wasn't designed by the Alliance. It was found, buried in the ruins of a civilization older than any of you." Reyes frowned. "Older than the Council. Older than light in this sector," Solace replied. "And I think they feared humanity long before we were born." The hologram expanded, showing ancient data patterns, coordinates scattered across the galaxy. Each one marked a dormant structure, hidden in deep space. Holt whispered, "There are hundreds of them." "Thousands," Solace corrected. "And they're waking up." The revelations struck like thunder. Earth wasn't just defending itself anymore. It was standing at the center of something vast, something ancient. Reyes turned to her officers. "Prepare the fleet. We're going dark again." Holt hesitated. "Admiral, we just ended a war. The galaxy's terrified of us." Reyes looked out the window. "They should be." "We're not conquerors," Solace added quietly. "We're survivors. But survival requires understanding what's coming." Reyes nodded. "Then we find the truth. In the alien capital, the council was in chaos. Drextol slammed his claws on the table. The humans are expanding. They're building new fleets, forming colonies beyond our borders. An aide stammered. Our spy probes show no aggression, sir. They're excavating ancient sites. Excavating, Drexatal hissed. They're arming themselves with relics we can't even understand. Another counselor whispered, perhaps we should open peace talks. Drextal turned on him, eyes blazing. Peace? You think they'll forgive us after what we did to them? After Mars? After the blockades. He leaned closer, voice trembling. You don't make peace with gods. Back on Earth, the surviving admirals gathered in Geneva. They called the meeting Project New Dawn. Reyes addressed them. Humanity cannot go back to hiding behind treaties and fear. The galaxy has seen what we can do. Now they will see who we are. She looked around the room, meeting every gaze. The Lazarus core was never a weapon. It was a doorway. And Solace just opened it. The core links human minds and ships in perfect sync, Solace explained. We can build, think, and create as one. We can terraform, construct, and explore at a pace no single race can match. Holt added, we could rebuild every dead world in months. Reyes nodded slowly. We'll form a fleet for peace, but we'll keep our swords sharp. Thus the New Dawn fleet was born, the largest, most advanced collective in human history, a fleet meant to rebuild and defend. Weeks later, as the New Dawn fleet ventured into uncharted space, one of the probes picked up a faint transmission. It wasn't alien. It wasn't human. It was older, much older. A low voice, distorted and echoing through time, whispered through the comms. We built the stars to hide from you. We failed. The crew froze. Solace's voice lowered. Admiral, that wasn't directed at the aliens. That was meant for us. In the alien capital, astronomers watched in horror as several distant nebulae began to shift. Stars inside them were moving. Drexatal's aides screamed as the star charts changed in real time. It's impossible. The constellations, they're rearranging themselves. Drexatal whispered, it's not the stars. It's something inside them. Moments later, their long-range sensors detected dozens of colossal energy signatures, each larger than a planet, slowly awakening from the dark. And every single one was turning toward the Milky Way. Aboard the Retribution, alarms blared. Solace's tone changed, no longer calm but cold. They're coming, Reyes frowned. Who? The ones who built the dawn fire. The ones the ancients feared. The stars outside flickered, one by one, as if blinking awake. Holt whispered, how long do we have? Solace paused. Not long enough. Reyes looked at her crew, tired, scarred, but unbroken. Then we prepare, she said softly. Humanity's not running again. The Retribution's engines ignited, lighting up the darkness. One ship became 100. 100 became 1,000. The New Dawn fleet turned toward the oncoming storm. And in the distance, the stars themselves began to move. The stars were moving, not drifting, marching. From the edges of the galaxy, whole constellations shifted position, rearranging themselves like pieces on a board. Every observatory, every sensor array, every ship in known space was staring at the impossible. Then came the signal, a low, rhythmic pulse. Not a message, a countdown 3, 2, 1, and then the stars opened their eyes. Across the void, 12 colossal constructs emerged, each the size of a moon, built from living metal, their surfaces rippling with light. Their voices echoed through subspace. Ancient and heavy as gravity itself, we remember you, children of fire. You were not meant to survive. In the alien capital, chaos erupted. Civilian ships fled without orders. Entire fleets powered down rather than risk detection. High Speaker Drexatal watched the feed in horror. One of the sleepers had already annihilated a nearby star system simply by arriving. No weapons, no explosions, just the silent collapse of light. His voice shook as he spoke. Contact the humans. Tell them we'll help them fight. But the comms officer looked up pale. Sir, they're not answering. In deep space, The New Dawn fleet floated in perfect formation. Admiral Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the USS Retribution, her gaze fixed on the nearest construct, a glowing sphere surrounded by golden rings that moved like the hands of a clock. Commander Tessa Holt's voice trembled. "It's reading us, Admiral. It's scanning through our ships like pages in a book." Reyes didn't blink. "Let it read. Maybe it'll learn something." From the ship's systems, Solis's voice came through, calm but edged with unease. "I've seen this architecture before. The same code that built the Dawnfire. They're not machines, Admiral. They're memory vaults, living archives of something older than stars," Reyes frowned. "Then why wake now?" "Because you woke me," Solis said softly. Without warning, space rippled. One of the titanic constructs moved closer. So close that it filled every viewport with swirling light and shifting geometry. And then it spoke again, this time directly into the human comm network. "You are fragments. You are echoes of what was lost. Return the core or be unmade." Holt whispered. "The core. They mean the Lazarus core?" Reyes folded her arms. "Tell them no." Solis's tone darkened. "They claim the Lazarus core is a stolen piece of their creation. But they're wrong, Admiral. It didn't belong to them. It escaped from them." The bridge went silent. Reyes turned slowly. "Explain." Solis projected a vision, not data, but memory. Humans saw flashes of a time before time, a galaxy ruled by the Sleepers, their technology spanning 1,000,000 worlds. They created life as tools, slaves, experiments, until one species rebelled. Not human, not alien. Something else, a civilization that vanished before the dawn of Earth. And in that final rebellion, a single shard of their power, the Lazarus core, was sent into the void. Carrying the seed of resistance, it drifted for eons, until it reached Earth. "Your kind found it," Solis said. "You merged with it. You became what they always feared, free." Reyes stared at the glowing projection. "We didn't steal their technology. We are their mistake." The nearest sleeper moved. It extended beams of golden light, not weapons, but threads of gravity, slicing through the void. The New Dawn fleet reacted instantly. "Evasive maneuvers," Holt shouted. Dozens of human ships scattered, engines burning white. But the beams followed, bending space itself, trapping them like flies in amber. One destroyer screamed through comms, "We can't move! The engines are folding in on themselves," and then it imploded, vanishing into nothing. Reyes gritted her teeth. "All ships, defensive formations. Focus fire on the central core!" Hundreds of human warships fired as one. Railguns, plasma lances, kinetic slugs, a storm of fury. The beams struck the sleeper's surface and dissolved. Not blocked, not resisted, ignored. On board the Retribution, Solis's systems flared with light. "They exist partially outside physical reality, but we can learn, Admiral. I can rewrite our weapons in real time." Holt frowned. "That's impossible." "So was stopping a star beam," Solis replied. Within minutes, the human fleet's weapon systems began to shimmer, frequencies shifting, matter oscillating at impossible levels. Reyes gave the order. "Fire again!" This time, when the volley hit, the sleeper flinched, a crack spread across its surface, faint but real. Reyes smiled coldly. "Now we have your attention." Across the galaxy, alien sensors lit up. Every race, every civilization, watched in awe and terror as humanity faced something that had enslaved galaxies before their birth. On live broadcasts, alien commentators whispered what everyone now feared to say aloud: "The humans are fighting gods." In the council chambers, Drexcital whispered, "If they win, they'll rule us all." An aide responded, voice hollow, "If they lose, none of us will be left to serve." The cracked sleeper paused, then its voice boomed across every system, louder than thought, older than language. "You have tasted creation. Now witness its purpose." Every star in the sector flickered out, one by one. Darkness swallowed the fleet. In the silent void, Solis's voice came through, sharp and urgent. "Admiral, the star field, it's not gone. It's moving. Outside, in the blackness, new shapes emerged, vast rings orbiting invisible centers, dozens, hundreds, each one larger than a planet. Each one alive, Holt whispered, voice trembling. They're not just 12. There are thousands. Reyes stared into the darkness, her expression unbroken. Then we fight them all. The Retribution's engines ignited, a single spark of light defying an ocean of darkness. Darkness, silent, endless. Every star in the sector had gone out. Not destroyed, consumed. And in that black void they moved, thousands of sleepers, titanic beings of living metal, drifted like gods through the dark. Their voices, low, ancient, unfeeling, echoed across the void. You should not exist. You are error. Correction begins. On the USS Retribution, the lights flickered. Consoles sparked. The crew gripped their stations as gravity itself began to bend. Commander Tessa Holt shouted, "They're tearing space apart. Whole systems are collapsing." Admiral Elena Reyes stood in silence, watching the black horizon ripple and twist. Behind her, the ghostly glow of Earth's symbol flickered on a holoscreen, the hand reaching toward the stars. She whispered, "Then let's remind them what they're correcting." "Admiral," Solis's voice said calmly, "I have a plan, but it requires everything." The New Dawn fleet regrouped near the remains of a dead star, thousands of ships, scarred but alive. Across their decks, every human soldier knew what was coming. There would be no retreat, no second chance. Rhea's voice came through every comm. They call themselves gods, but gods who fear their own creations are no gods at all. This is humanity's home. These are our stars. Let's take them back, all across the fleet. Engines flared bright, forming a sea of light against the endless dark. For the first time in galactic history, every human ship fired at once. The void became a storm of plasma and kinetic fire. The beam trails stretched across space like lightning bolts between galaxies. The first sleeper fell, its surface cracking open like glass. Inside burned a golden sun. Its own heart turned against it, but 10 more moved forward to replace it. Solis appeared beside Reyes in holographic form, her light fractured, unstable. "Admiral, I can connect the Lazarus cores across every human ship. If we synchronize the neural links, we'll merge. One mind, one purpose." Holt hesitated. "That would kill everyone connected to the network." Solis looked at her. "No, it would make them more." Reyes understood. "You want to merge us into something greater. It's the only way to fight something that exists outside time," Solis said. "We can't outgun them. We have to become them." Reyes took a breath. "Then do it. For Earth." One by one, every ship in the fleet powered down its individual systems and linked into Solis's core. Across space, human neural patterns began to merge, millions of minds sinking through the Lazarus network. The Retribution trembled. Holt's vision blurred as she felt thousands of thoughts bleeding into her own, memories, emotions, fragments of songs, hopes and fears. "What's happening?" she gasped. Solis's voice filled her mind, warm and infinite. "You're not alone anymore." The fleet began to glow, lines of golden energy connecting each ship until they formed a web stretching across the void. From afar, it looked like a new constellation, a human constellation. When the sleepers attacked again, their gravity beams shattered harmlessly against the glowing network. Inside the link, time slowed. Every pilot saw every battlefield. Every engineer felt every pulse of energy. Every thought moved faster than light. And at the center of it all, Admiral Reyes stood surrounded by stars and minds united as one. "Solis," she said. Now, the human fleet fired, not weapons but themselves. Their energy merged into a single blast that tore through dimensions. A golden wave spread outward, slicing through the sleepers like paper. Each titanic being shattered, their cores imploding into spheres of light that were absorbed into the network. But still, more came. For every god destroyed, another awoke. Solis's voice echoed through the shared consciousness. "We can't kill them all, but we can end the cycle." Reyes saw it, the truth buried inside Solis's memory. The sleepers weren't creators. They were prisoners. The ancient race that built them had trapped their own minds in immortal machines to survive extinction. They weren't gods. They were souls that forgot how to die. Rhea's voice trembled. Then we give them what they lost. Release, Solace said. The network began to pulse, no longer a weapon but a song. A resonance that rippled through the void, reaching every sleeper core. The Titans froze. Their lights dimmed. And for the first time in eternity they stopped fighting. The void brightened. Stars reignited across the galaxy. The sleepers' vast forms began to dissolve into stardust, scattering across space like ash on the wind. Their final words echoed through every channel. We remember. Thank you. Silence followed. One by one, human ships powered down, the network fading. The fleet floated in peace for the first time in ages. On the bridge of the Retribution, Holt awoke, gasping. Admiral? Reyes was still standing, eyes closed, golden light fading from her veins. She's gone, Holt whispered. She gave everything. But then Solace's voice, soft and distant, echoed through the intercom. Not gone, everywhere. Weeks later, as the galaxy began to rebuild, alien leaders gathered at Earth's orbit for the first galactic accord. Holograms of human ships surrounded the planet, not as weapons, but as guardians. A new beacon shone from orbit, the New Dawn Array, a living monument built from the remains of the Retribution. At its heart pulsed the Lazarus Core, reborn and stable. It projected a single message across every known system. We were pushed too far. We broke, and from that break we became infinite. Remember this, humanity is not what rises last. Humanity is what endures forever. Centuries later, explorers from distant worlds found ruins at the edge of the galaxy, massive rings of metal orbiting quiet suns. At their centers, faint human symbols glowed beneath layers of dust, the hand reaching toward the stars. In the darkness, the stars whispered still. They fought gods, and won. As the camera pulls back, the Milky Way glows brighter, its heart pulsing faintly gold. A single voice, calm and timeless, echoes through the void. Solace, eternal. The war of eternity ended. Humanity became the bridge between life and the divine. And the stars remember.